So I recently saw the Barbie movie. It was like 3 days ago. And overall the experience was just kind of strange. I don't really get why Janelle Monáe wasn't the main Barbie, even though her whole stick used to be about humanoid objects. But maybe she's too horny nowadays for the role. The weird self-infantilization of Mattel in the movie also struck me as a bit insidious. Also, the movie was just way too loud. The main thing that bothered me, however, was the movie's treatment of power. So when Ken and Barbie travel to the real world, they experience patriarchy in very different ways. Barbie feels objectified and disappointed in herself, while Ken feels like this is the first time people care about him. He feels empowered. Even when he's an object of sexual interest to men, it's uplifting to him, whereas to Barbie it's just kinda creepy. Ken immerses himself in the patriarchy, and he comes to think that it is pretty cool, and he really excitedly hurries back home, where he shares his new knowledge with his fellow Kens. He erects like a government by the Kens for the Kens. The Barbies back home, for some reason, go along with this immediately. When later questioned about it, the explanation is generally that bringing the Kens beers is way more relaxing than winning the Nobel Prize or being the president. At this point in the movie, Ken seems to enjoy and do patriarchy because he enjoys it. It centers him, whereas before he was just like an accessory to Barbie. What's already really weird here is that apparently being the matriarchy president sucks really bad, and working at Hooters is better. So as the movie goes on, however, Ken's motivation shifts from patriarchy rules to him compensating for Barbie's lack of interest in him, both sexually, romantically, maybe not sexually, he doesn't have genitalia. Let's say romantically and as a person in general. Patriarchy is not the end goal anymore. It's just a way for him to get back at her. After they resolve the conflict in the movie, Ken has a line that he lost interest in patriarchy as soon as he learned that it wasn't about horses. And he's very cool with not being in power anymore, since he thinks the whole ruling stuff was just really difficult anyways. So what's up with that? For all the whining about Barbie being misandrist that went around for social media, in Barbie's version of patriarchy, the men don't really mean it, and they just do it because they've hurt feelings. It's not quite the same as incel logic, but it does make a lot of excuses for these men. The whole movie seems motivated by an ideology of self-infantilization that runs throughout the whole thing. It's the opposite of Zizek's old concern that society demands that you enjoy everything you do, even smoking and eating junk food. In Barbie you can't enjoy being in charge or being in power because it's big and scary. But ultimately, that means leaning fully into the patriarchy hurts men too notion. It forces the movie to deny that actually patriarchy is pretty enjoyable and pretty good deal for many men, if not for all men. And I think insisting on this kind of lack in patriarchy, or insisting that patriarchy isn't that cool, isn't fun. The people who do patriarchy aren't really invested in it. Kinda robs the critique of its power.